Hello and welcome to Driving Double Feature Podcast. I'm Nathan,
I'm Ryan.
and this is the podcast where we talk about 2 movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before we get into this week's movie, I want to talk to you about our Patreon. If you head over to patreon.com/Driving Double Feature Podcast, you got fun games, fun conversations, all for $5 a month. You help support the show. But getting into today's movie, we are talking about Tarantino. What perfect timing! We're talking about
Who?
yeah, very unknown, unrecognized director.
Oh, one of those like art house directors that nobody watches. Okay, Nathan.
Exactly. And I thought, why not watch this 247-minute art house flick? It has scenes in black and white, called Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. So Kill Bill is a really famous movie, released in 2004 as Kill Bill Volume 1, and then 6 months later they released Volume 2. It was always meant to be one movie, but I'm pretty sure it was Harvey Weinstein at Miramax who was like, let's split these up because that's way too long, and they weren't putting out 4-hour movies at that time. But now there's actually been this cut sitting around called The Whole Bloody Affair. And I've heard about it for years and years and years. Well, they finally did a theatrical run of it. And actually, Ryan, we saw this movie together in the movie theater. We saw the whole Bloody Affair together. So this is a movie theater experience.
Yep, and I can definitively say it was much better than our cocaine bear experience.
I know. I was gonna say there's gonna be no complaining about the theater experience or talking about it. It was actually kind of perfect. Had some beers, some popcorn, and watched the movie in a pretty
Everyone,
great
everyone
audience.
intent, everyone intently watched the movie. It was a very pleasant experience.
That's just the way I would like it for this movie, and I think it helped me appreciate it more. But let's like take a step back. So Kill Bill, what's your first experience with Kill Bill?
So this kind of like kicked off my of what I know of Tarantino, of like because I mean, I do like his movies. Sue
Me too.
me.
Great director. I mean, that's a thing. He's a great director.
Despite what you may think of him as a person, and you're probably right, but
Mhm.
uh, it I do enjoy his movies. Um, I remember hearing about this movie for a long time, and I remember seeing like the action sequences for Volume One and being like, "Oh, that looks really cool. Like, I really would
Mhm.
like to see that." And I ended up, I think I bought it, or I blind bought it, or I rented it, or something like that. But I got Kill Bill Volume One, and I just remember being like, "Oh my God!" Like that was so cool. That was like one of the
Mhm.
coolest movies I've seen, and just um, I really enjoyed it a lot, and I watched Volume One a lot, and I remember being like so hyped for Volume Two. Just
Mhm.
like opening night went there,
Oh
and
wow.
I wasn't even old enough technically yet to go see that movie.
Mhm.
With I might have been like just turned 17, or I was just under, but anyway, I saw it. Um, and I remember thinking, I was like, oh my God, that was just as good, if not better, than Volume One.
Mhm.
And after that, then I wanted to see his other movies, so that's when I checked out all of his other stuff.
That's really cool, actually. I actually think Kill Bill is also my earliest one of his movies. Yeah, because I mean, I was not quite old enough to watch this in the theater when that was new, but my parents did go see both of them, and I remember them really loving it. And my dad bought the DVDs pretty much like as soon as they came out. I remember him coming home with like volume one and then volume two. And I just remember watching it, just like putting it, because I used to do that because we had so many DVDs growing up. And I just put these on and it blew my mind. I was amazed. I thought it was like the coolest thing I had seen. Very similar experience. And actually, it's funny. I used to watch movies for a while whenever I was like maybe preteen, teen. I would just watch DVDs before bed. I put something on, fall asleep to it. Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 were my go to sleep movies. I'd watch them before bed because I
Well,
always
they would
enjoy them.
always put you to sleep.
Yeah, they're so bad. Yeah, no, that and Life Aquatic, which you could maybe make the case that maybe that would put you to sleep. But yeah, those were my movies, and I would watch them. So this movie just is really close to my heart. So I was excited to finally get the chance to see it in the theater in this cut. So this is a big movie, gigantic movie, and I don't want to get too bogged down in bringing like talking about like every piece of this movie. And I'm going to suspect that a lot of people listening to this have probably watched it. So I am going to talk about it, but I do want to just kind of talk about maybe highlights, just like real like amazing scenes because you love this movie, I know that, and then I love this movie. So like maybe like the best scenes, and I think talking about the best scenes in this movie, easily you have to talk about the giant fight scene between the crazy 88 and in what do you call that, like a restaurant bar, and it is different in this movie because it was black and white in the original version because it was too violent. Well, now it is all in color in all of its violent glory. um just one of the best action sequences I've ever seen in a movie. And that's cemented at the theater. Just absolutely great stuff going on here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just insane that fight sequences. It's like, like I hate lumping so much praise on Tarantino just because I think it just sounds like indulgent or what, just like, like it just
Hmm.
sounds like every other guy basically is just like, oh, I love Tarantino. But when you watch it again, you're just like, okay, well now I could see why I like this guy so much. It's
Yeah.
just, I mean, because that is like probably like one of the best fight scenes in a movie, like the most like thrilling and just insane choreography
Hmm.
like into it. So, and it's filmed in a very interesting way, and it it's a lot of fun just
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
that.
No, it is. It's, and you can tell, like, and I like what you said. It's just one of those times where, like, he makes a good movie. But the thing with Kill Bill, and I was talking to my fiance about this. It feels so unlike the rest of his catalog. That's actually what I thought while watching it in the theater was like, this is so different. This doesn't feel like anything that came before it and anything came after it. This is his most stylish movie. And I think maybe that's why I appreciate it so much. It feels so stylish. Because like what came out after this? Next was Inglorious Bastards, correct?
Yeah, well,
Oh, sorry,
is
Death
that
Proof. Death Proof.
Death Proof? Yeah.
I skipped over Death Proof like everybody else, which I think that's stylish, but not in the same way. And then before this was Jackie Brown, which I don't think, from what I've seen of Jackie Brown, is nothing like this.
You remember seeing Jackie Brown?
No.
Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
I've seen like an hour of it. I know, I'm sorry. That's the only movie of his I've never seen. I've never gotten around to it.
I don't even know what to think anymore. He left me speechless.
Sorry, sorry.
I
I can't watch every movie. Come on.
gotta make more room for Despise or
Yeah, I have to watch garbage, please. I gotta, yeah. This week we're gonna watch Despiser instead of Jackie Brown.
I, okay, no, I legitimately very surprised you never saw it. But anyway,
Mhm.
um, no, I mean like this movie, it's like it's almost like in its own little world type of thing where it's just
Mhm.
like it's filmed in a much different way. Um, just some really just like interesting, like just like some really like gripping scenes where you're just like, I'm just like hooked. I'm just like leaning on every word they say. Now, like you said, this movie is with the intermission, this movie is 4 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a very long movie, but it flows at such an easy pace. Like
I
I was shocked. Like I was like, I didn't think I was going to be bored during it, but I think I was going to be like, I was kind of thinking like at one point I was going to be like very aware of how much time I've spent in the
yeah.
movie and like very, very like, okay, like I know I've been in this chair for 2 hours. Like we got another 2 hours to go type of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't think that didn't cross my mind at any point.
No, I was amazed because, I've seen 3 hour movies that I love to death, but, I've seen them in the theater. And at some point, even if you really enjoy them, you start to go, like, I've been in here for 2 hours. I can feel it. It was so easygoing. The pacing on this movie is insane. Like the first half, when we got to the intermission, just went by just like that. I just remember thinking, like, oh my God, I could have had that. I could have just went right into the next one, and I think I would have been
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Like if he had just went right into without the intermission, I was like, I think I would have been fine with that. But
I might have had to pee a
uh,
bit, but
maybe.
yeah,
But my point is just like it just flows at really just
yeah,
for a 4 hour movie. It's so odd that like how well it just flows.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm surprised, and I think it's just like the really great action sequences, all of the style that comes with it. I think that helps it out. Like that action sequence is a good like 30 plus minutes, and just a lot of great choreography going on there, like you said, just amazing stuff. I guess stuff specific to this version. There is an anime section for Lucy Liu's character to show her backstory, and that's longer in this version. So there is a bit more in that, and I thought it was cool. I think it made more. It connected the story in a way I never thought needed to be connected. I guess.
I the only thing I guess I guess if I was gonna give it one criticism or be super nitpicky, it
Hmm.
would probably be at the anime sequence
Yeah.
where it's uh like because it showed her like killing because the elongated part was her like killing like the main mob boss's like lead henchman.
Hmm.
And I was like it was a really cool sequence, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if it added anything more to like the scene or anything, or to like
Yeah.
the lore of Oren Ishii, I guess I should say.
No, I don't think so. Because it's not something I question. And then when it was
Yeah.
shown, it was like, okay, this is cool, additional information. I do think like if there was one part that it actually, I understand why they cut it because it did go on for a little long. That whole elevator sequence was a bit long overall.
Now, do you ever remember? Because I remember like the sequence, like that scene specifically,
Hmm.
because the henchmen, like in the original cut, like I said, like they don't show all the anime sequence, and they
Hmm.
don't reveal that his name is Pretty Ricky,
Hmm.
and he's just like a psycho.
Yeah.
Um, did you ever remember like reading speculation that people thought that like that was Bill?
No, I don't remember that at all. I didn't know that was a thing. Interesting.
Like people thought like that guy was Bill and he was working for the mob boss and he was the one that killed Oren Ishii's parents. Um,
Oh.
like he was
Uh,
like a young up and like he was like a young up and like henchman and
yeah.
I just but no I don't it that obviously they with that scene they fixed all that but I just remember reading that as like
Fan
a fan
theories.
theory. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. Really interesting. I guess I wouldn't have gone there. Um,
Yeah.
um,
Uh,
but,
what one thing I do want to mention,
mhm.
it's like there's a lot of stuff about the action sequences, but like I just the dialogue in this movie is just like I said before, is just so gripping. Like
Mhm.
David Carradine in this movie, like one thing I do want to say, like Uma Thurman, just like I have like a whole new appreciation for
Right?
her in this role.
Holy
And I'm just
crap.
like it is such an amazing performance where because she goes through like all these like different
Mhm.
emotions and it's just like and you think about that and you're just like how was this like not recognized for like any
I
acting awards.
I think nowadays, if she put in this performance, it would again not. It maybe not win, but I feel like maybe we're a little more open to genre picks for nominations. But like this is a snub for the time. Yeah, I was watching this, and I always liked Uma Thurman in this role, but something about
I
this
did
time,
too.
I really appreciated it. I thought she was like amazing performance. I thought she was great because the dialogue here. it's very unrealistic, and I don't mean that as a bad thing. It's just stylized, and it takes a special person to deliver stylized lines like that. And I think she just plays it with this wit that's really great, but also like when she feels the pain and sadness, like when she wakes up and realizes her baby is gone, she's just depressed, and that scream, just moments like that. I'm like, wow. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, Uma Thurman is incredible in this movie.
Yeah, it's just truly one of the most underrated performances,
Yeah.
like where it's just like it doesn't, I mean, it does get the love, but I'm just like just seeing it all in one go like that, just like
Hmm.
it just made me appreciate it that much more.
Yeah.
Um, David Carradine in that role too. He's just, he's a scumbag, obviously. He's like an evil
Hmm.
monster, but the way he says it though is just like, the way he talks, he's always just so charming and just he's
Yeah.
like, hey, you really want to hear what he says. He's so charismatic in this role, and you're just
Yeah.
like, you want to listen to every word he has to say.
Oh yeah, he's so good in this, and he's not, and he's like more like he looms over the first part of the movie, and then becomes such a big character in the second part. And yeah, I love everything he says, like that whole sequence, because it all leads up because Uma Thurman is killing Bill. She's like, I guess the best way to describe it is the assassination team that she was a part of. She tries to leave it after, and she's dating Bill, breaks his heart, and then they all come and kill her, but she's actually alive the whole time. So the movie's about her vengeance between every single one of them, all leading up to Bill. And that last sequence when she gets to Bill, and it's just like a very long conversation. That whole scene is just a conversation. And let me say, I love that. I've always loved the second part of
Yeah,
this movie, where instead of like a big giant action scene like in Volume One, instead it's like a low key conversation with a light fight. It's very low key. I'm like, it subverts your expectations, and he's
and
so
it.
good in that scene.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. And I
Yeah.
mean, like, it makes it that much more gripping because you're when you're listening to all these words that they're saying, because like the whole point of this at the end is not I want to get revenge. It's like more just like understand, like they want to come to like, why did you do this? Like why,
Hmm.
Uma Thurman is just basically just like you completely overreacted, and that, and it kind of shows like Bill's like jealous side because he was just like, you knew for a fact you living out in, Oklahoma, like in a record story, like you knew that wasn't going to work out. And you know how much you
Yeah.
enjoyed killing people, and she knew he was right. And so it was kind of like this back and forth where they were just like, they just hated each other and they were trying to hurt each other like emotionally.
Yeah, and that's that whole conversation where he's talking about Superman and comparing like Clark Kent is like Superman's critique of the world of humanity. I love that whole bit. I think that's great. And then and Volume Two works really well. And it's not even Volume Two; it is a whole movie here. But the second half of the movie, that's when you learn about her training and how she learns about the five the basically the death punch. You hit somebody 5 times, it'll make their heart explode once they take a few steps, which is really fun. But I love that sequence, the training sequence. I think that's so much fun, like her with God, I'm forgetting his name now, but
Hi, May.
Pai Mei, thank you, Pai Mei. And just that's so over the top, which is kind of what Volume Two, like I said, is a little more low key. It needs that kind of over the top energy, and I really think that's, for me, one of the more memorable bits when she's training the montage. Whenever it's the colored background and she's like doing the kung fu moves in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love that, like, she's so charming, right? And she's so charismatic, and obviously everyone like maybe doesn't like her, but everybody has respect for her, to the point where Pai Mei does teach her a move that nobody else ever got to learn. So she even won him over.
Um, yeah, I love that sequence too, because I mean,
Yeah.
even though like Pai Mei is like he's also like a vicious killer. Like they
Oh
mention
yeah.
like all these stories where it's just like this monk like disrespected him by not acknowledging his nod or whatever,
Mm-mm.
and just so he went and ended up killed like a whole monastery pretty much.
Yeah.
And he he's racist, he's misogynistic,
Yeah, he's
and
like, oh yeah, he hates women and or no, he hates white people and he despises women.
yeah, and he's like, and he also says like, I hate Japanese, I hate like,
Yeah.
and yeah, so he's a scumbag, but again, like you start to warm up to him because you can see him like off, like he could see how good she is as a fighter,
Hmm.
and it's just a really great sequence. Um, One part too, which I have like a newfound appreciation for, which I think a lot of people don't really like this section of Volume 2, a
Oh,
Bud
specific.
sequence.
Oh, Bud Sequin, really?
Yeah, like I've like the scene where like he's like in the strip club or whatever, and like I really like it because they're so like each one of these people the from the Deadly Viper Squad,
Hmm.
uh, they're all like in different uh parts of their life. Like they're all like experiencing different things. It's like
Hmm.
Oren Ishii is now this big crime boss like in Japan, and she was the easiest to find. So that's why she's able to go there. And
Hmm.
Vernita Green is basically like as soon as she murdered the bride, like she ended up getting married and going setting
Hmm.
into like a suburban household. And Bud, it was like, and there's like down on his luck and like living in a
Like
trailer and
broke.
working at, yeah,
Which is so funny because everybody else seems to be living okay. You actually don't learn a lot about Daryl Hannah that much. She like she's kind of the mystery character of this movie, and I feel like Tarantino maybe wanted to do more with her. That's at least what I always got out of it. But yeah, like you're right. And Bud, I love how Bud is like, as you learn the Hanzo sword, he doesn't sell it. But like it's supposed to be he's so down on his luck that he sold this like one of a kind priceless sword for $250.
well, yeah, because like the whole point of it was like, uh, he was supposed to be like, oh well, like, do you still have your Hanzo sword? And he tells Bill, it's like, no, I pawned that. And he's like, it's priceless. Like, what do you mean you pawned it? He's like, well, no, I got me $250. So uh it was just funny because he still had it, but he was just saying that just to like hurt Bill's feelings.
Yes, yeah.
Because he basically, like, Bud's whole character was just like, I tried to tell Bill that that girl was no good and that he should have
Hmm.
ditched her years ago, and he didn't listen to me. And now we're all in this jam. And but he's like the only one too that has like general remorse of like from like what their actions of what they did, because I always love that scene where him is just like the way the shot is framed, and he's just like, that girl deserves her revenge and we
Yeah.
deserve to die.
Exactly. And he doesn't say it with any like it's not sad, but it's more like just like a yeah, it's a fact of life kind of deal. And that's how Michael Madsen does it. Now I love his Bud character. I love his conversations and everything where like he does feel remorse and he's like, we deserve to die, but he isn't going to up and let her kill him. He's still going to
No.
fight for it. And that leads to, I mean, one of the more gripping parts of the movie, the scene where she's buried underground and she has to use the moves that she learned from Pai Mei to get up out of the grave and dig up through it. I don't know why that is like a scene that has stuck with me. The scene where she like has the hand and she punches the coffin over and over. That pops in my head very
You
often.
better believe, like, whenever I'm really close to a wall, I'm doing like that same like hand thing, like you're
Yeah.
doing like that, like,
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like one of those like ingrained things because it's I don't know. It's just cool. But yeah, she digs out of there, and Uma Thurman she gets her way. And we didn't even talk about Vernita Green because that's such a great opening sequence. Like that's an amazing action sequence because it's all done within a house. So it's like they're tumbling over chairs, breaking glass tables, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it's just a fun way to open the movie, get you in the mood for it. Because one thing I did notice in the theater was the sound effect work. It's so over the top. It's like that he's getting it from kung fu movies. Like it's like whoosh, whoosh, like these really silly sounds the whole time, but it really helps it.
Do you know? So like in the Oren Ishii sequence when she's fighting Gogo,
Yeah.
and like she kicks the table, and it's like you could hear bowling pins like
Yes. I love that because that scene is definitely like that because like when she's like throwing like when her little spike ball breaks through the table it goes slow-mo and there's a I don't know it breaks through it and it's just really loud. Um there's too much to talk about with this movie. With the because the music's good too. I wish there was one song
Oh
that
yeah.
played the whole movie. But it's still it's good. Actually, I was surprised how little that song played. I forgot that it only plays once, but it's just so iconic. But
I think they should have played it like 5 times more. That'd be
I
great.
I agree. I think so. But no, we were just gushing over this movie. I mean, it is a 5-star movie, in my opinion. I was watching it intrigued the whole time, and I was reminded how good of an action movie this is.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway is that I because I'd known about the whole bloody affair for a really long time,
Mhm.
like probably for 15 years. It's just I've
Yeah.
known about it for the longest time. I've been like wanting like an opportunity to see it. So
Mhm.
when I saw that there was an opportunity to do it, I was like, I cannot miss this. Like I
Yeah.
have to. I've been waiting for a long time for this, and I'm so glad I was able to. It's definitely like a. It was definitely worth the wait. It was definitely something that lived up to my expectations, if not exceeded them.
Hmm.
Uh, I, as you know, as good as both movies are on their own, to me, this is the optimal experience for it. Like this is like
Hmm.
the best way to view it. I mean, yes, it is a 4.5 hour movie. It is a bit of a sit through, but I mean, it's such an exciting movie. Like, and there's really nothing in there where I was just sitting there being like, like I remember this scene. The scene takes forever. It's
Hmm.
just, it's a 5-star movie. I loved it. I loved it so much, and I was really, I honestly like if I went like tomorrow to go watch it, I probably would. I'd go see it
Yeah.
again.
Oh yeah, I'd see this again easily. No, I totally agree. Loved it. It's such a breezy 4 hours. And I think if you get the chance, if you have like a day you're off or free and you could see this, you should go see it. It's really good. And you don't have to stay for the Fortnite movie after.
No, I recommended it to a friend, and they were also just like, oh, like it's 4 hours though, and I'm just like, trust me, like it's gonna
Yeah,
be good. So, and they ended up seeing it the next day, and they were just like, yeah, that was perfect.
exactly. Yeah, it's like it's one of those experiences you have to see to believe.
And just the opportunity, because I never saw Volume 1 on the big screen. I saw
Yeah.
Volume 2 on the big screen. But I never saw Volume 1. And did you notice too, like Volume 1, like I noticed it was almost like a DVD quality type of like,
Yeah,
it
it
wasn't
definitely
like,
wasn't
it
like
wasn't like a
great
hundred
quality.
percent, it wasn't like 4K or whatever,
Uh-huh.
quality, but that didn't matter. That didn't deter my experience from it.
Not at all.
It was just something I noticed. I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's because it's an older one. He probably hasn't remastered it or anything.
No, yeah, no. It definitely didn't feel like the 4K remaster or anything. It felt like, the original copy put together, which I mean, doesn't change, like you said, it doesn't change a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I read somewhere that he may not be putting it on physical release,
Really.
which I hope he does, because this would be like a day one purchase for me. Like I would
Hmm.
want this in my collection. So, um, I hope he does, but that's like a rumor that I had read.
Well, hopefully. I'm hoping over here. That would be good. That would be a day one buy for me too.
Yeah.
But I do think it wraps it up for this episode. But Ryan, what are we covering? Remind us what we're covering on Thursday. And then
Well, Nathan, we are going to be talking about The Machine Girl, and that is streaming on Tubi and Crunchyroll right now.
awesome. Well, I'm excited to watch that one. And if you want to email us, you can email us at drivingdoublefuturepodcast@gmail.com. And also be sure to subscribe to us over on YouTube. But until next time.
Until next time.